News OK's Press Row with the Oklahomans Barry Tramel and Jenni Carlson is powered by Dunkin' Donuts. America runs on Dunkin'.
I'm Barry Tramel, and in Kendrick Perkins' second game with the Thunder recorded its best victory of the season. I don't think that's a coincidence.
Maybe not. We'll break down that victory in Miami here on the Press Row from the Opubco Studios in Oklahoma City. I'm Jenni Carlson. Press Row is sponsored by Dunkin' Donuts. Barry, a watershed game for the season and maybe the best win that they've had as a franchise since they've been in Oklahoma City. But it wasn't sort of descript. Kendrick Perkins gets into some foul trouble. Russell Westbrook gets into some foul trouble. Kevin Durant doesn't go to the free throw line, and yet they win in Miami easily. What in the heck happened?
Well, what happened was the Thunder D'd up. That's what happened. I mean, the Thunder got in the Heat's face. They got in the lane. They wouldn't let the Heat get to the rim. They contested shots. It was the kind of defense that the Thunder's been talking about playing all these years and have shown signs of it, but they did it for 48 minutes on Wednesday night. And Kendrick Perkins, he only played, I think, 19 minutes, but Perkins' presence seems to have brought a new attitude. They've been playing defense, pretty good defense, even with Perkins on the bench recovering from the knee injury. Play defense like this, and the Thunder can beat anybody in any playoff series. Now, playing defense like that will be a tall task because that's a very difficult thing to hold Chris Bosh, Dwayne Wade, LeBron James. I think they were combined 4 of 23 in the second half. Just a monumental defensive game. Kendrick Perkins brings that tough mindset and that physical presence. He's made a huge difference.
Well, that's absolutely right. I think it's as much mindset as anything because these guys, even before the acquisition of Kendrick Perkins, we kind of seen them turn a little bit of a corner. They go down to San Antonio and they don't win in San Antonio, but you start to see that more physically minded defense. And then, you know, right thereafter, they acquire Kendrick Perkins, Nazr Mohammed, and you start to have the pieces to then be able to capitalize on that mentality. So we saw the signs of it, and now we're really seeing what it looks like. And I think, I mean, I don't know if you can sustain for 7 games in a series against a San Antonio or not what we saw last night. And, you know, there's a good chance that you're never going to see those 3 in Miami go as poorly as they did in the second half. But that being said, Barry, it is a change. It is the defense that we saw at the end of last season, but with better pieces, and that really should have people excited.
Well, it should, and you're seeing players blossom. Serge Ibaka played a marvelous game last night. Didn't have a bunch of stats, didn't have a huge offensive night, but kept blocking shots again. So I think he's got 19 in the last 3 games. And Nick Collison is becoming sort of the team leader. And James Harden had to guard LeBron for stretches of that game and was not torched. You're just seeing guys. Kevin Durant, by the way, played phenomenal defense a good night of a good part of the night on LeBron James. You're seeing guys really progress their games. And while we always look at scoring and assist totals and things like that, what you do on the defensive end is equally as important. And we are seeing the Thunder get better and better right before our eyes. And now comes a 6-game homestand against competition far inferior to the Miami Heat. The Thunder could really post a pretty nice record going into April.
Well, and get some momentum going too, which I think would be really positive. Anytime you're looking towards the playoffs, to be playing well. And this 6-game homestand, Barry's exactly right. Some teams that shouldn't be a problem. And I tell you what, as impressive as what the Thunder did in Miami is, there's no doubt that it's impressive. To me, the games just preceding were impressive in their own right. These were teams, you know, you're playing a down Cleveland team, you know, but yet the last 2 games against teams that were not as good as the Thunder, they really stepped on them, didn't let them make games of it. And I think that's a sign of how this team is progressing as well. You know, we saw early in the season all these stats about the Thunder in close games, the Thunder in overtime. Well, lots of times they were in close games and overtime games against teams that they really should have not even been playing their starters in the 4th quarter against. Now you're starting to see them really assert themselves, assert their strength, and get after teams. You beat teams like Miami with that, but you also beat down bad teams with performances like that. It'll be interesting to see at the end of this 6-game homestand where the Thunder stands. I think they could be riding a pretty good winning streak. Hey, stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoman.
News OK's Press Row with the Oklahomans Barry Tramel and Jenni Carlson is powered by Dunkin' Donuts. America runs on Dunkin'.